when people talk about selling large collections, often the problem that comes up is liquidity, right? So you got 10,000 Magic cards, you're going to sell them. Who's going to buy them, right? And part of the problem is that if you're going to get somebody to buy a bunch of Magic cards all at once, you're going to have to sell at a big discount. This has lots of kind of tentacles of issues because often people who have big collections think that their collections are worth exactly what their TCG Player app scan or Mana Pool or whatever app they're using to, I don't know if a Mana Pool does an app like that, but whatever app you're using to measure your collection, they'll scan all the cards and say like, oh, 10,000 cards, they're each $1. I have $10,000 of Magic cards. But of course, when you try to sell $10,000 of Magic cards, you're lucky if you're going to get, honestly, like $1,000 because it's hard. It's hard to sell 10,000 Magic cards. And so what do you do? What's the solution here? Well, the solution could be a buy list. And that's what we want to talk about today. I am doing a big buy list through Card Kingdom, not a sponsor, but they do a pretty solid buy list that I've used many times. And I want to walk you through what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, the pros and cons, etc. So let's dive in. There are kind of two genres of me collecting a bunch of cards where I want to sell a bunch of cards pretty quickly. I guess maybe there's three. One is I'm building a commander deck and I get tired of my commander deck and I want to sell it. The second one is I am buying commander decks in bulk to break down for singles to sell. And the third is I'm breaking down booster boxes in bulk to sell cards. And so I love buy lists for that second and third one. For if I make a commander deck and I want to break down the cards, I'm not a big fan of buy lists, and we'll get into the reasons for that later. But when I am breaking down commander decks and when I am opening up tons of booster packs with the intention to sell the cards inside, buy lists are incredible. And let's run through why. And to run through why, I guess it's not clear exactly how to do the order of this, but I guess to run through why, part of what I want to show off are the cards that I am buy listing. So there are some cards here like Arena of Glory that sells for about $10 on TCG Player, and the buy list is $8.50. Nick, you're missing out on $1.50. Why would you do this? Well, the cool thing about a buy list is that you don't pay fees on your buy list, right? I mean, or the fees are already baked in a way to think about it. But when I sell these on TCG Player, I lose. I have to pay shipping, and I lose, $1.35, something like that, to fees, like 13% to fees. Where on a big buy list, I still have to pay shipping, but there's not fees. The price they're telling me they're going to pay it. So I'm going to get $8.50 for each of these cards. Where if I sold these for $10 each on TCG Player, I would make less money from these on TCG Player after shipping, because for each one I would sell it for $10. I would make $8.70 after fees, and then it would cost me $1 plus to ship it. And so I'd make $7.80 or something like that for this card selling on TCG Player plus the extra work. And then on the buy list, I'm able to sell this for $8.50. So I actually make more buy listing to Card Kingdom. And I'll get into specific examples of that. But so there are some, pricier cards. It's not that pricey. I guess the priciest thing I've got, I don't know where they're at. There's an Ulamog here that's like $13 on the buy list. I do have a couple Phyrexian Towers, which are $20 each on the buy list. But what's really interesting are these commons, these like Gift of the Vipers, where I've got a bunch of them, like 20 plus. I've got a bunch of Buried Alives. I've got a bunch of a Cursed Marauder. I've got like 40 of these things. And it adds up. It adds up pretty quick. And so let's go back to Big Face Me. The benefits of the buy list are that you're able to sometimes liquidate cards for kind of a steal compared to what you're able to sell on TCG Player for. So let me share with you an example. Share my screen. This is Collective Resistance. This is an uncommon from Modern Horizons 3. I didn't know about it until I was mass opening these boxes, but it's actually pretty decent uncommon where you can, for 2 mana, give a creature hexproof and indestructible, but then you can escalate it, you can pay, and you can choose these. I'm just saying that in general, I think the way you use this card is 2 mana. You give something hexproof indestructible. And then if you have more mana, you add on to that and you can destroy an artifact, destroy an enchantment. And so anyway, it's a pretty cool card. It could be a 3-for-1, right? Where you use one card to protect your creature from their stuff. So that would be a 1-for-1, but then you're able to escalate it and destroy an artifact, destroy an enchantment. 3-for-1, that's the kind of value you want to see in Commander. Cool card. Well, on TCG Player, this card is selling for, 85 cents plus shipping or whatever. This is the low price. What is the market price? The market price is 86 cents. So a fairly inexpensive card. Now the question is, what is the buy list? Because I could sell these on my store. What's the liquidity like? Let's see. Every day there's a number of these selling. So there's decent liquidity. I'm sure you have to have, what you'll notice is that the price of these selling aren't the 86 cent ones, right? What's selling are more expensive ones, but they're more expensive ones that people are optimizing their cart. And so the people who are selling these don't just have Collective Resistances listed. They have a bunch of cards listed, and Collective Resistance is one of the cards they're selling. So it's not the easiest card to sell unless you have a massive kind of collection or, a big enough inventory to sell. So this might be the kind of card that if you don't have a massive inventory, a buy list is really interesting, because a buy list, you can just sell it immediately. And the question is, how much can you sell it for? Well, you can sell it for... Oh, well, this doesn't show. What this shows is that Card Kingdom is selling this card for $2.49. But if we click on Sell Your Collective Resistances, we can see my kind of sell cart here. But they are buying them for 85 cents. So they are buying them for market price. So you're telling me now, so you're telling me that I could essentially just immediately liquidate all of the copies I have up to 303 for the same price that I could get selling them on TCG Player. Now, that isn't quite apples to apples, but it's pretty close apples to apples. And so it's just incredible. Incredible. Let's take a look at my cart here, because these are all Modern Horizons 3 cards. I've got 54 copies of Accursed Marauder going for 8 cents each. This is a card, let me pull it up here on TCG Player. Because it's like, Nick, why are you doing this? You could sell them individually on TCG Player and make so much more money. Look. Well, not really. I mean, the market price technically is 71 cents, but once again, that's because people are roping them in and selling them with a bunch of other cards. I've had these listed for a couple weeks now. I don't know if I've sold a single one. But now that I've finished opening up, I've opened up 3 cases of Modern Horizons 3. That's 18 booster boxes. Now that I've opened up 18 booster boxes, I have, 54 of these. And getting 8 cents for each of them feels pretty good. Getting just a couple bucks here, a couple bucks there. And that's how these buy lists work. Let's see, I've got Malevolent Rumble. I have 51 copies of common from Modern Horizons 3, 24 cents each. This is my stack of Malevolent Rumbles, whatever the math is on that. Once again, it just adds up to a couple bucks. It's a couple bucks here, a couple bucks there, but then at the end of the day, this is 414 bucks, which pays for a third of a case of what I was paying for Modern Horizons 3. So that's 1/12 of all of my Modern Horizons 3. And I do have some bigger cards in here. I've got my Phyrexian Tower and some other stuff. But anyways, the point is that these little cards, they add up pretty quickly to be a lot of money. Not tons and tons of money, but some good money. So that was my example, but let me talk about other situations where I've used these buy lists, because these buy lists have been really powerful, especially with sealed commander decks. Because what I do, and what I recommend you do, is that before you even start opening the commander decks, you do some research into the buy lists and what cards they're buying. What I had to do, for example, for this Modern Horizons 3, for these cards that I'm going to buy list, is I had to do research into, okay, which cards does the market price and the buy list price are essentially the same or very close. I made some exceptions to that, but for the most part, every card that I'm selling in this buy list, it's because Card Kingdom is going to pay me the same amount that I would get selling it on TCG Player, or even more, because there aren't shipping and fees. And so with the commander decks, what you do is you in general, and this is an important rule for buy lists, in general, the more expensive cards are not going to be as good of a deal to buy list. So for example, the $25, $30, or even the $5, $10, $20 plus cards, in general, the buy list is going to pay you significantly, or at least just reasonably less than what you could get if you sold it yourself on TCG Player. And so usually when I'm breaking down a commander deck set, it's not that interesting to me to buy list the $1 plus cards. But the 50-cent cards, the 25-cent cards, the 15-cent cards, what I'll end up doing, because back when I was opening up more commander decks, and I think I will be getting into it more again now that the Modern Horizons 3 super deal from Flipside Games has worn off. What I'll probably end up doing is buying like 5 commander decks. Well, I used to do 5 commander deck sets a week. So I'll need to figure out, because I think I'm going to use toploaded.io, not a sponsor, to figure out what commander deck sets or commander decks are good to buy. But those aren't sets. Those are just individual decks. And so anyways, I'll find a deck and I'll probably try to buy, like 10 copies of that deck a week, something like that. Get them. And then you check on the buy list and you say, okay, what cards are worth just like 25 cents or 10 cents? Not a price that makes it feel like it's worth selling online. And not because that money isn't good, but it's because the liquidity is bad. They don't sell very quickly. Like I said, with Collective Resistance, the card just sits, or a Cursed Marauder. It just sits in your inventory. Unless you have this like 10,000 plus card inventory, it's just going to sit there. And so you're so much better off kind of cashing in to the buy list, doing one bulk shipment over to Card Kingdom or whoever and getting paid for it. And so those cards, you have those cards in your mind, and then as you're breaking down commander decks, you set them to the side. And now I wouldn't recommend doing a buy list order to Card Kingdom or to whoever until you have a bunch of those cards. Well, let me roll that back. There are buy lists out there. I really love the buy list for Game Grid Lehigh. Not a sponsor. Shout out to them. Really cool store. I did a lot of buy listing with them back in 2024. A little bit less so now. But anyways, the smaller the store is, they usually will have like limits, like we'll only take up to 8 of a card or something like that. Where Card Kingdom, you saw on my screen that you could, sell like hundreds of copies of some cards, and they'll just take them. So anyways, depending on what the buy list is willing to take, with Card Kingdom, I just save up, so it's like 1 week I'll get 10 commander decks, break them down. While I'm pulling out the singles to list on TCG Player, I'm making a pile of singles that I know I'm going to buy list. And then I just let that sit. And then the next week I get 10 more decks, grab out those buy list singles, let them sit. And then after, a month, I now have like 500 plus cards that I'm interested in selling in or shipping into Card Kingdom. Apologize, grabbing a prop. Then what I'll do is I'll grab one of these, not a sponsor, BCW 500 count storage boxes, or the 400 count, but it really does fit 500 cards. I will throw all the cards from my buy list in here, one shipping label. I live in Virginia in the United States, so it's kind of a pain in the butt to ship to Seattle. Right? Seattle? Anyway, other side of the country. But I do it, and it's just one, $10 label. To usually what would happen is like once a month I'd have $100 of these 10, 25, 50-cent cards that, like I said, won't really sell on TCG Player, but I could just cash out and just get like $100 a month, because I was breaking down enough commander decks. And so like you might have seen on my screen, this is like $400 worth of singles. Not all of these are 10, 25, 30-cent cards, but a lot of them are. And yeah, it's going to be a nice, padding of my bank account, or just, it helps cover a bunch of the costs for me to get the product initially. And then I'm keeping most of the good singles, the singles that are worth $1, $5, $10 plus dollars, because I will make more money selling those on TCG Player than I would buy listing them. If I would make more money by listing them, that's what I would do. But So yeah, so I'm able to grow my inventory, but move through a bunch of cards very quickly and get a nice payday from it. So that's what I do. You should check it out. Buy listing is definitely powerful way to move through cards, to help move through your inventory, the cards that aren't moving. For me, it's worked best when I have like a bunch of the same cards, because I don't know, it'd be a pain to just like onesie twosie enter in the cards that you want to buy list. Although they have tools, there might be cool tools to use to like make buy listing easier on Card Kingdom or other places. But alas, that is beyond me at this moment. So anyways, thanks for watching. Shout out again. I'm about to hit 1,000 subscribers, and we're going to do 1,000 subscriber giveaway. We're going to give away that booster box of Strixhaven. We're going to give away an expensive card. We're going to give away a pack of Spider-Man, just one dinky pack. So there'll be 3 winners. And the way it's going to work is once I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to make a video about how I hit 1,000 subscribers. And then everyone who comments on that video and is a subscriber will be entered in to win one of those 3 prizes. Yeah, it won't be the same person that wins all 3. I'll make sure that it's different people that win the prize. And so this is my, invitation for you to subscribe and keep watching my stuff and keep an eye out for that video. And maybe you could be the one who wins this Secrets of Strixhaven Play Booster Box. Anyways, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. We'll see you later.